the ultimate good vs evil battle for Middle-earth has arrived. Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to some more Rise of Mordor Total War. Today we have an epic 4 vs 4 engagement. Good vs evil using both the Rise of Mordor Lord of the Rings mod and the sub mod, which adds in a ton of new units using the pre-existing assets. So it basically just varies out a lot of the factions, allows us to have these epic 4 vs 4 engagements whilst we're waiting for Rise of Mordor to add in more units and other stuff like that. So yes, as I said, this is a 4 vs 4, so if you want to see more content like this, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. It really does honestly help out the channel. Also, YouTube have just implemented a new feature which allows you guys to join the channel and get yourself a cool banner, I guess, next to your name. It's kind of like a Twitch subscription, so you can go ahead and find that by clicking join on the video or on the channel, and I'll also leave a link down below in the description. So if you want to go ahead and help out the channel and support it, just like a Twitch subscription, you can do so. However, don't feel like it is necessary. Just commenting and liking on every video really honestly does help out so goddamn much. So yes, anyway, let's jump straight into this battle. So we'll take a look at a few of the factions that are being brought, and then we'll dive into the engagement. So we have Doamroth on this left hand side. They're going to obviously consist of these heavy knights, some half decent archers, and then mainly these mounted cavalry. The mounted cavalry is going to be where the armies of Doamroth really do shine. These guys can pack a punch and definitely do a lot of damage. Then as we make our way across, we do have the forces of Gondor. They're going to be standing side by side by their brothers of Doamroth. They're going to be having some Gondor bow militia. They're going to be supported by the Ringlow Vale men at arms, which I really dig about Gondor, that they're not just like a Gondorian imperial army. They have the kind of units from all round the Gondorian kingdom, which is just cool. And then we obviously have the more iconic Gondorian swordsmen. And they're also, I'm sure, going to be having several other units as well. We even have some Bardings here supporting the Gondorian army. And also, oh, actually, we've moved on to Dale already. I guess they're kind of mixing up a little bit. That's kind of cool. But then, yeah, we do have Dale on the good side. They're going to be supported by Lake Town Wardens. We're going to have these Barding swordsmen who are brutal warriors. They have these huge two-handed swords. And then they also are equipped with a bow as well to just do insane damage. They've also got their general back here, the Barding archers. Dale definitely do excel with these archer engagements. That's really where Dale are as good as they are. Then we have, I can't remember what this faction is called. Oh, is it these guys? Is it the Dawn? I can't remember what this faction is called, but basically it's like a faction around where Dale is, and it's kind of more of where the Vineland. Is it Vineland? It could just be Vineland. But yeah, it kind of is more of that elvish type of armor and stuff. So we'll be seeing them with like a bunch of these gardeners and stuff like that. And then obviously the more iconic unit that is originally in the Dale formation, the Vineland Guard right here. These units have kind of the elven inspired armor. Very, very deadly. Can pack a punch for sure. May even have some elite cavalry there. And if we go ahead and take a quick look over on the evil side, and we'll get into this battle very soon, we have the forces of Harad. They're going to be having a mix of heavy infantry. They also have some Black Shield Legionaries. I don't know where the hell these guys have come from. They don't look very Haradian, but maybe they are. Then we go to some Camel Riders back here. We also have some of the Eastern Watchmen. These are a Harad Pikeman unit. We then have the elite heavy cavalry, and this is a much more iconic for the Easterlings right here. Again, wait, so this is Harad, and we've got Eastlings here as well, kind of guarding the back. Oh, that's interesting. They've pushed their cavalry around the flanks, choosing not to put any cavalry there. So yeah, that's actually the Eastlings right there. But then we have more Harad infantry here and here, along with a army of Immortals back here again. These kind of look very out of place in a sense. They kind of look like they're from the Seven Kingdoms mod more than anything else. Then we obviously have the Eastling force around here. They're going to be consisting of archers. We also have some more heavy infantry. And we're going to have more of like the iconic infantry back there as well, as they are advancing in their shield walls. These guys are really, really deadly for the Eastlings. They have a huge axe and also that bow, so they can output a lot of damage. And then we have the normal warriors right here. Very deadly as they move closer and closer towards the enemy. But as we go over, we do have the forces of Isengard. They're going to be consisting of a lot of Uruk-hai. You know, we have the elite ones. We have the half-orc axes. These guys great at armor piercing. We even have a unit of sappers as well, which explode it. They're kind of like their unit at Helm's Deep. And then we also have the elite White Hand Guardians back here. These dudes are very deadly. And then finally, we have the forces of Dunland who are going to be supporting them. So a lot of Hillman units, not really anything too heavy or elite, but, you know, the Hillman units can pack a punch, and they do use their numbers to their advantage. So if we take a look at the number count, we actually have over 20,000 soldiers in this battle. So it's going to be pretty crazy as the forces of good and evil clash for this ultimate battle for Middle-earth. And as we can see as well, look at this as well, we're literally going from end to end on the battlefield. There is no space for either side to really push off, and I think we're seeing Dwarmroth actually spreading their battle line now, trying to make it so that the enemy can't, you know, outflank them or anything. Going to be pushing up a lot of their soldiers. I love these guys as well. These guys look really, really cool. They kind of have the Dwarmroth, you know, chest plates. And then kind of look a little bit like the Dunedain Rangers as well. So we're going to be getting a pretty insane archer volley kicking off this battle. And we can already see it with the forces of Gondor, the Bow Militia, sending the first volleys into the Isengard Orcs right here. These guys are more like worker orcs than anything else. They're going to be receiving the first little missile volley, and then we're going to be seeing the forces of Harad and Easterlings pushing up their archer force now to try and juke this off. But this is not going to go great for the forces of evil, mainly because their archers just aren't as good as the forces of good. You know, the good have the Bardings of Dale, they have the Gondorian archers, you know, the Dwarmroth archers. They're just going to go ahead and outrange a lot of these Easterling archers, who look like they have to get extremely close to volley. I imagine they have more like composite bows, and they do a lot of damage to the yeoman archers. But I think the superior range of the good forces is just going to overwhelm them. I mean, Maz looks pretty cool as well as these guys advance. Oh, that's really cool, actually. The Lake Town Wardens, like, the front line is swordsmen, and the second line seems like it's like javelins or something. That's like a really, really cool, like, unit right there. It's a very cool unit composition. So we might be having to pause this throughout the battle just so we don't miss any of the action. But at the moment, it just seems like we've got a pretty hectic skirmish off right now on both sides. And as we can probably tell from the beginning of the battle, I think it's going to go in favor of the forces of good. We're also going to be getting actually a cavalry charge right here as well. So if we go into slow-mo, we're going to see the camel riders actually charging into the Vineland cavalry right now. And I have no idea how good the Vineland Cavalry is, especially against the Camel Riders. I imagine the Harad Camel Riders will come out on top. Camels normally do have a bonus. However, we are going to be seeing some Spearmen reinforcing this, or at least some Javelins as well to maybe help out. But the Harad army is very, very close to this as well. So it's going to be probably a pretty intense fight. Also, look how huge these camels are compared to the forces of good cavalry. Not only that, but I think the riders are actually mountains of men on top of them as well. They're very, very big compared to the forces of good right there. I think that's going to preempt a lot more of the other engagements flying off. We're actually going to be getting a nice little cavalry charge right here by Gondor, scaring off the enemy archers. And I always love this tactic in battles. It's just kind of screening your cavalry. Because what this ends up doing is it ends up, one, if you can catch the enemy archers out of place, which, you know, looks like was going to happen right here, you get to kill yourself some archers. But even if you don't, even if the enemy run away, then what you end up doing is you end up getting their archers to turn their back whilst you continually shoot at them. So you end up getting this extra time, which just really helps you in the missile engagement and helps you win the skirmish off. And it seems like the forces of good are getting some great charges off onto the missiles. And this is going to wound their kind of chances of winning the skirmish off. And it's probably going to preempt them into a full-on attack. We are getting Dunland, though, moving around their skirmisher cavalry, trying to pick away at the halberds right now, who are looking just to simply hold the battle line, deter them from doing anything else. This battle is just absolutely insane. The scale of it is just crazy. This is exactly what I want. So, big thank you to the people who did send in this replay. I really do appreciate it. And please, please, please do more battles like this, because this was awesome. So how's this cavalry engagement going? I think because the forces of Vineland have actually supported their horsemen with extra infantry, they're going to be kind of pushing back the enemy. But we do have Easterlings also pushing in some extra spearmen as well and helping out. It does also look like they've managed to kill a unit of merchant escort. But again, as I was saying earlier, this is just all this in like horse engagement is just buying the allied archers more and more time to push back and kind of win this skirmish engagement. We're actually getting another cavalry coming in on the Isengard Labourers. Again, these are like orcs They're lightly armored, not very good. Yeah, they're literally like the grunt orc force. But it's kind of cool to see that they've added in, or at least the overhaul mod has added in more variants of the orcs instead of just Urukai. And hopefully one day we will get Mordor in with trolls and everything. And I think this is a pretty smart idea actually by the forces of good, because there's not really much room to use this cavalry. So to just go ahead and try and prolong the missile engagement as long as possible by doing this is actually a pretty decent idea, because it forces the engagements in the center to kind of commit infantry, which just buys these archers more and more time. Oh wow, what the hell was that? Oh, it's a ballista? Oh yeah, so this is the new weapon in the thing. It's like a flaming ballista. It shoots out flaming bolts, right? I want to see this thing shoot. There we go, yeah. It's like shoots out like flaming bolts and does damage. It's kind of cool. Interesting unit. But we are going to be getting a unit of Ringlow Vale Gondorian sword infantry getting onto the lightly armored Urukai here. I imagine this is going to go very much in favour of Gondor. But these guys are getting a bit out of place as more of the Urukai come flying in to try and repel them back. But they're also going to be pulling back, just getting their damage and then falling back. That's not a bad plan whatsoever. How's the fight over on the far right hand side? Oh, the cavalry does look like it did manage to get onto the archers here, but then the backup archers are just really helping out. The general cavalry as well, which just have the elite elven armor on. It's going to be finishing up the rest of these horses. And yeah, this is looking kind of a little bit shaky for the forces of good, honestly. They're kind of winning these flanks, but they're struggling elsewhere, losing a large portion of their cavalry force. And you can see the balance of power is slightly in favor of the forces of evil, even though the man count is very, very similar. And this is where the real action comes. This is where we get to see man versus orc. Some really, really cool animations right there, and I just love the scale of these battles. Always so much fun. Especially when we fight an epic 4 versus 4 like this. Yeah, it's always fun doing large armies and stuff, but just having all these different factions really engage. And that's why it makes me so excited, you know, as they do make more and more progress on the mod. Because, you know, the progress is very slow on the mod, but that's because there's only a handful of guys still, you know, working dedicated. You know, they're dedicating a lot of their time to the mod itself, and they do put in a lot of work. So you always got to, you know, it does take a while, but, you know, they always do it at such a high quality that it's absolutely awesome. And, you know, it's hard to obviously develop these mods when there's not as many people as maybe there was a year ago working hard on each faction. You know, there's only a couple dudes now, and, you know, they still put in so much work. So you've always got to put your hats off to them with the stuff they're creating. It's absolutely awesome. And, you know, stuff will come eventually, which is exciting. So we're going to be getting more and more Darmroth infantry finally engaging. I really love the look of this. These look like kind of very Arnorian. Like, these remind me of like 3rd Age Arnor units, which is pretty dope. Yeah, the whole line of Darmroth going to be engaging, and they are fighting against Dunland, who aren't really the strongest faction. They do have some pretty good heavy infantry, but I think Darmroth will just win as long as they can use their knights effectively, which I think they've still got quite a few of them. I love as well how this is all like pockets of resistance, like popping off throughout the entire engagement. You know, we have like little fights just spurring off across the battlefield. As you can just literally see from end to end, we have battles fighting. So let's take a nice little overview to see how this is going. So we've got a huge break in the center right here. It does look like that the forces of Easterlings are actually breaking the center of Dale, and that's to kind of be expected. Dale's infantry aren't as good as many of the other factions. They rely heavily on these archers, and they still do have a lot of their archers left remaining, and there's not any cavalry really in the center whatsoever. Gondor are fighting hard against Isengard, same with with Darmroth, and we are seeing the right flank with the forces of Vineland kind of going toe-to-toe, but slowly losing against Harad and their Swords of the Serpent. Which is scary because, you know, if this right flank does collapse, then it's going to spell disaster for them. They're also trying to save their general as well. We do have the elite Easterling cavalry fighting away. Oh, and there we go. The Vineland general actually does go down whilst he's engaged. His men try to save him, and that might cause some, you know, catastrophic routes. And that's exactly what it's doing. This left flank is starting to crumble as the combined forces of Harad and the Easterlings are just beating back the men of Vineland. That is bad news for them, and they really need to try and push elsewhere. As well as that, we're also seeing them routing the Lake Town Watch just aren't strong enough to break the, again, the combined forces of the Easterlings and Harad. They are working in combined operations right here. I mean, they are winning elsewhere. These Lake Town Guards, spearmen with the support of the Gondorian cavalry, the Knights of the Silver Swan are helping out, but they're still leaving a lot of gaps elsewhere, with some pretty intense engagements back here as well, as the Isengard forces try and break the Gondorian shield wall, which is steadily holding. The shield wall obviously does offer a great support to their melee attack. These axemen, as you can see, are just running through the gaps in the formation. Now they can attack whilst the shield wall is broken up. This is going to be a hard-fought battle for Gondor. Also, as well, just to let you guys know that MT is working on a new Gondor map with the new Gondorian architecture. He's working on a really, really cool port defense with like an alpha keep. So it should be really fun, and I'll obviously be bringing you guys an epic replay on that when the time does come. So just keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification. One of the enemy generals has fallen, but it's so hard to tell what general has died, just simply because there's, you know, 8 generals. Well, I guess 4 enemy generals, but one of them is dead. And if we zoom out, so it does look like that the last forces of Vineland have kind of rallied around their dead king, and they're going to be trying to look in, like, to push in here. However, the Harad army has used this opportunity to actually push in themselves and start to gang up on the men of Dale. And they're surrounding them just with their superior numbers, as Dale can only send a handful of soldiers. And this is going to be big news for the Eastlings as well. It's going to give them a moment's respite, as we do actually have some of the Lancers of the Serpent coming in. These are the soldiers of Harad, and they're going to be flying their way in to the back of a lot of these, you know, weak infantry units that don't really have a lot of men left. There's a nice little hammer and anvil to break them up. So this is very, very dangerous right now, as this could really break the entire left center as well, as the fight does continue on. And as we can also see, it looks like a large portion of these Dale infantry are just like bowmen who don't have any arrows left either. So this is going to start really cutting down the numbers of the forces of good right now. This cavalry is going to be having a field day as they charge their way into this combat. There is only 2,000 men left here. An entire army has just routed right there. I don't know who it is, but one of the sides has, I think it's maybe Gondor. Yeah, Gondor have been absolutely smashed in the center. Where the hell did all their men go? Wow, Isengard just absolutely ruined them. I have no idea where their forces went, but yeah, the last couple men, they have a couple soldiers left remaining, but that's about it. Even Dol Amroth are having to send over some of their elite infantry just to try and hold them together, but doesn't look like it's happening. There is only 2,000 men left on both sides, so this battle is still very close, but I think the forces of evil are starting to edge it, because they've just got all their men combined and together, whereas the other forces don't. The forces of good are completely separated right now. And the cavalry is just running amok in the center, where there's no real support. Looking just to finish off this cavalry. The White Hand Guardians of Isengard just killing the rest of Dol Amroth's cavalry. And really, if they should just run down all of this, like if they just have any cavalry here, all they need to do is just run down these archers and it's just over. I mean, they have 2 units back here, just charge and finish off Dale, because, I mean, we kind of suspected this as well. On the right flank does look like Dol Amroth have won, but it's whether or not they can kind of combine their forces with everyone else as quickly as the forces of evil are. Because, you know, the forces of evil have formed up pretty nicely already, combined their forces. And Dol Amroth need to go ahead and support their allies, because, as we can see, like, a lot of the good archers are just getting run down by this cavalry. But, I mean, the evil men are also losing a lot as well, so maybe maybe there is still hope. I don't know. It just looks like the forces of evil have a lot of men left, and a lot of the soldiers left for good are just like kind of archers who don't have any ammo left. So it's not like they can really do anything. We do have what, 1 or 2 men from Vineland, and then the majority of the force is going to be made up of Gondor and Doamroth. So Gondor still have this Citadel Guard unit left, but I don't know if it's, I mean, it looks like it's looking good for them on balance of power. I guess they are coming out on top, but it just looks really bad when the center like kind of collapsed. And the forces of evil did a great job at kind of reforming up their forces. Maybe the quality of the soldiers of the good side, there just is too much left of them, you know, of like good, hard-trained soldiers. I also really love some of the swords, like the sword right here for Doamroth is really cool. It's got like a swan on the bottom of the sword. So more reinforcements just moving over. But I mean, just look at the bodies on the ground. This was one hell of a battle as both sides just clashed for honor and glory. Like, really, really good battle. Thank you very much for the people who played this, and also for those who sent it in. I really do appreciate these replays. It's always great. I'm sure you guys enjoy them too. So the Men of Evil, like the Men of the Evil factions, are doing a good job at trying to silence a lot of these missiles, but I don't know. I guess they just don't have enough men like left. Because the Bats of Power, they only have 600 men left. Really? Is that it? I guess. Like, it's not like Vineland really have a lot of men left either. I mean, they're going to be pushing all their soldiers around this section right here, looking to finish them off. And I guess this general unit for Dale is just really strong. They are not going down, the Barding sharpshooters. I mean, they are just archers and they're fighting cavalry, so you'd suspect them just to die, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, I guess it's just a lot of elite units left in this battle for the forces of good. Well, they have this Vineland Guard, they have a lot of Doamroth heavy infantry. Somehow this cavalry is being caught by the heavy White Hand sappers. They're lucky they didn't lose their general or their unit. They actually might lose the unit here. The White Hand sappers somehow managed to keep up with them. I mean, maybe it's because they're not even exhausted, they're fresh. The general going to be looking to rear charge here into the back of this Hand of the Serpent cavalry. And actually routing them, wow, the morale is just not good on them. And what do we have left even? We literally only have this unit of White Hand Stormers left. And this unit is just going to, what? They're going to not go down without a fight. There's 2 minutes left of this battle as well. So somehow they fight for another 2 minutes. I don't really know how, as they're already quite close to routing. But I guess we'll do them justice by watching their last little stand. And I guess the forces of good have come out on top of this battle. Somehow. I guess they just kept a lot of their elite men to the last push. But I think this was an admirable effort by the forces of evil. They had me fooled for the entire battle. I thought they were just going to win and wipe the floor with the enemy. Once that center started to break and the left flank broke and they poured in to kind of reinforce that center, I thought the forces of evil had it, but they just have a lot of Doamroth infantry left. I guess Dunland just can't really go toe-to-toe with them. Well, there's also a cavalry unit there as well. But yeah, we'll just speed things up in this last engagement. I think actually they're waiting. Imagine if this unit of White Hand Stormers actually managed to... Oh, they're White Hand Guardians, but you guys know. Very similar, just changed the name in the mod. Yeah, the rest of Doamroth is making their way over, and that's probably going to be all she wrote as the unit does route. Now it's just the cavalry unit right here. The last unit, the cavalry right there. And there we have it, a Pyrrhic victory. So I'm excited to see who got the most kills there, because that was one hell of a battle. So we'll start off by looking at Gondor. Their Citadel Guard unit that came in right towards the end got 250 kills. The infantry all doing good, the archers doing really good, and the cavalry 340 kills right now. Very, very impressive. Then taking a look at Doamroth, obviously they're Black Swan defenders, 230 kills. Their general doing very good. Their archers doing okay, but not as good as everyone else, apart from this unit right here, 337. Very impressive indeed. Taking a look at Vineland, we can see their infantry doing pretty decent, and this unit of Vineland Guard, the elite heavy infantry, getting 276. I think this cavalry still got the most kills out of anyone though, as we speak. And then looking at Dale as well, obviously their archers really excelling in the battle. Oh no, they're going to look at the Eastlings. Their general getting 377 kills. That's the highest so far. As we continue to go down, 449 from the Harad general. Very, very nice. He's really excelling right there. Isengard, anyone coming close? I mean, a lot of 100 kills there. Unfortunately, we have the sappers and also the flaming ballista didn't really do too much. But their infantry, 308 kills on this infantry unit is pretty decent. And then finally, looking at the army of Dunlop, we can see again, they're kind of elite infantry doing good, and their elite archers doing good, but everyone else kind of falling apart, unfortunately. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, be sure to drop a like and a comment. Go ahead and check out the join feature if you want to become a channel member. As I said in the beginning of the video, you do unlock a cool little banner next to your name in the comments, which kind of lets me see you guys a lot more and kind of filter through the cancer comments to the good ones. And you kind of get some other perks as well, but just go check it out. It's worth a look, and I will see you guys in the next one.